Good morning, good morning, good morning. It feels like a great day to make some sales on Etsy. This is our August Make a Change Every Single Day inspiration to boost our Etsy shop. So let's have a look straight away. Today I want to talk about promoted listings. If you haven't already switched them on, I really advise you do that. To simply explain why, over the years in many incarnations of sales that I've worked in, I've paid for adverts, and quite a lot of the time adverts have ended up the advert costs more than you actually bring in, or it's pretty good if you pull if you get even. But as I've explained in videos before, in Etsy promoted listings, roughly for every $1 I spend, I get a return of around $10. And this seems to be the case for quite a lot of people I've spoke to as well, if you do it properly. So this is well worth it. But there's also some other added advantages of having promoted listings on. We get stats that you don't get in other places. So let's dive in and have a look. So your promoted listings are down here in the marketing tab at promoted listings. And this is where you would switch them on. To manage them, you're going to hit the manage tab here on the right hand side, and this is where you turn them on and off. We can set a daily budget. How high this goes up depends on your history with Etsy, but set it to something that you can afford. But this is the thing that most people don't kind of excuse me, this is the thing that many people don't understand, is the higher isn't necessarily the better. We don't want to be spending loads of money here. So at the minute in time, my daily budget is set to $2 a day, and I don't spend all of that yet. But set it to something you can afford. I mean, Etsy allows me to put it up to $50 just now. I don't want to do that. I'm doing some experiments to try and see if I can get even more sales on it. But for just now, $2 is working. I'll maybe up it later. Here we have the button to advertise new listings automatically. So that means every time I create a listing, it's automatically put into this, it's automatically advertised. If I don't do this, then I would have to go in and manually turn them all on, and I would forget, no doubt at all there. Most important bit here is to dip into advanced settings underneath. This is what makes the difference. Now I have a whole video on cost per click that I'll link in the cards above, but for just now what we want to do is set the maximum cost per click. So we hit this button here, and this allows us to set, when we put our bidding onto automatic, this allows us to just tell Etsy that we only want it to go up a little way. We don't want to put in massive bids. In a nutshell, what this means is people who have this set really high, your daily budget resets every day. It sets at midnight. So what this is going to mean is, at the time when the least people are on the platform, your items are going to get seen because you're putting in a big bid. But you blow through your daily budget super quickly, and so basically as soon as you've run out of that $2, then you're not getting seen anymore. So your budget could be burnt through in an hour or two. So you have promoted listings on, but in reality for 22 hours of the day they're not actually on, so you're not getting seen that much. So what I would say is start with your maximum cost per click way down at something like 1 or 2 cents. Run that for a few weeks and see what your views and what your sales are like. And then over time you can increase this slowly and see if that makes any difference to the amount of views and the amount of clicks you're getting. So once you've done all that, your promoted listings is on. Now, as I said, this has some really awesome advantages. It tells us some things that we just can't get from our normal stats. So if you already have promoted listings on, now's the time to dig in and dig deeper. If you've just switched it on, you'll have to come back, let it run a week or so before you even come back to look at these, because you're not going to you're not going to see any information so far. So I'm always looking at the last 30 days or even longer time period. And as you can see, just randomly, as I said, for every $1, I'm making $10 back. I spent, in the past 30 days, I've only spent $8 and I've made $84 back. So it's still averaging out around about what it was. And if before you've had your listings, if you haven't had them to automate, then you can change them here as well. We want the status, we want them set to auto, so you would click on this button to select. Now when you select this, this is only all of them on this page. I have more than 39 listings. Unfortunately, you have to go through the page a time, but then you could hit customize if you wanted to customize what the cap was for each of your, well, if you wanted to, not the cap, if you wanted to customize what you're bidding, but we don't want to do that. We want to automate, but mine are all on auto anyway, and you can adjust the prices of the bids, but we've already done that. But this is just if you needed to change it, so you can go into it there, but we've done it in the manage section, the high level, everything's dealt with in the shop. So what is so awesome about this? First of all, we have the number of impressions. Now this just means every time your ad was shown. And bear in mind, when someone searches for something, they get 4 ads across the top and then all the rest of the items in the search. So if that screen comes up and you're on it in the little box that says ad, then that's 1 impression. And clicks just mean people who saw your ad and then clicked on it. Your average cost per click is just what it sounds like. That is the cost that for every single click. So I've got it at the minute, I've got it set to go up to 5 cents, but on average, to win the bid, to get the click, I'm only having to pay 3 cents. And for these 46 clicks, it's cost me $1.53, and I've made one order from this, so my revenue is $40. But so what you want to do here is have a look at your listings that are getting a lot of clicks for hopefully less views, and if you felt like it, you could individually raise the prices of these ones if you felt it was necessary. But another thing we've got, you can see at the side, it tells us 17 search terms. Now what on earth is this? Because I don't have 17 tags, but if we click on this, it takes us to the listing, and that gives us again these stats that we spoke about. But what we have is basically it's saying what gave us the impression, what did the buyer search for, and to give the impression. So it gives us a list of what all the buyers have searched for that they've decided to show our advert. Now this isn't exactly my tags, this is what is super interesting. So it's saying buyers searched for the tag Havanese. Now in the case, why did they show my promoted listings? Well, I have Havanese in the title, I have Havanese in the tag, but not only do I have it as a single word, it's in Havanese art, custom Havanese and felt Havanese. So that's a reason why. And something else that is absolutely so useful here is this at the side saying high click rate. So this is telling us that Etsy experimented with my promoted listing by showing it to people who'd searched for the word Havanese. And when they've showed it to these people, I have a high click-through rate. So although this is not a very, although this is a very vague term, it doesn't say if they're looking for sculptures or art or collars for a Havanese or paintings for the wall. But when people search for this, actually my listing gets a high click-through rate. So this is good to know, and this is actually something to target, which is why I actually went in and added the one word tag Havanese, because I want to really double down on this. And exactly the same Tibetan Terrier, it's shown it's shown, Etsy's shown this because I had Tibetan Terrier also in the title and the tag just Tibetan Terrier art. I don't just have Tibetan Terrier, so I might want to go back in and consider just that as a tag as well. And again, this has got a high click-through rate. So the listing I have is very popular amongst people who search for Havanese and Tibetan Terrier. So invaluable bit of information. Now let's see if I can find what I'm looking for here. Yeah, personalized pet needle felt is a tag that is a search term that someone searched for, and Etsy's decided to show my listing to give it a chance. It only showed it 10 times, but when people search for this, I can't imagine this is a high volume search term. But Etsy showed it to me because in my title I just have the words needle felted, which is not even needle felt, but it's shown as highlighted. So felt and felted, it's taken as the same. Needle felt dog is one of my tags, which we have needle felt. Custom pet sculpture, so we have pet and felt Havanese, so it's using the felt. But nowhere in that listing do I say personalized, but it's going, your title and tags have enough. Let's throw this out to this person and see if this is something that they would be interested in. So bear in mind, although we do all the best we can with our SEO, Etsy experiments a bit as well. It goes, right, someone searched for this. Is this listing near enough? Yeah, that might be what it is. We'll show it to the person. And if Etsy shows my item to the person and that gets a high click-through rate, that's getting a lot of sales, that's making Etsy money, then actually what Etsy's going to go is going to say, well, they didn't optimize for this, but they're a good bet on this, so we're going to put you up on the front page for this. So this has given us some ideas of, in your listings, what people really like when they search for that word. They like your listing, so it's things to double down on. It might give you ideas for different tags to use, and it lets you know what people are really liking. So this is invaluable. This click-through rate, this telling you when it's seen, people are likely to click on your item for this. This information is gold. It is worth paying the money for anyway, in my book. Okay, so I hope this has helped you today, give you a bit of inspiration. Promoted listings don't have to be expensive, and in my book they are so useful even just for the stats, if not for the extra sales. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.